Hello, everybody. I am back with another stream. I'm going to start in a minute here. I just got something to take care of right quick. Then I will start the stream. But how's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a great day. Jesus. I'm just doing a thing right now. Because if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. All right, that's done. Yeah, I saw something very weird earlier. Not earlier, yesterday. I kind of want to talk about it. I'm still setting up because I'm doing all this shit at once. There's one. And Discord is on just in case people pop in. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Here we go. Hi. Hi, everybody. I think this is the last day of the break we're doing before we get into the next Pokemon game, which I am excited about. Jesus Christ, that was loud. Oh my god. It was so loud. Anyways, let me get chat back up. There we go. All right. So yeah. First, let me show it off. Let me show off my little city. It's not much. God damn it. It's not much, but it's coming along well. I found out that I'm actually in a zombie village, so I have to be cautious, but I've been resetting the day multiple times. So, yeah. It's been a fun time. Right now, I'm working on a little, like a bank. Not bank, but a storage where the citizens have to pay their taxes because taxes help our society. All people should pay their taxes. All of them. So we're working on that. And the thing, there's something I saw earlier was like, well, yesterday. I was also on Twitter, like always. Good old Twitter, doing its absolute most. There was this thumbnail going around where someone made a video about, and they on the thumbnail, the video title was Tiana, Disney's first mammy princess, which it was heavily implying Tiana from Princess and the Frog was a mammy caricature. Now, when you hear that, it raises a whole fuck ton of eyebrows. That is a take. I don't have any more diorite, do I? That is indeed a take. Oh, excellent. That is a hooey. That is surefire. Oh yeah, I found a dried ghast in the nether while I was getting some stuff. He was right there, poor little fella. So I just put him in by the ocean. Anyways, why'd I do that? I still have my fucking spelunking supplies on me. But yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Everybody was not pleased with what they were saying, and a lot of things were said. I raised my eyebrows and said, that's a take. That's a what in the hell are you thinking take. That is a what are we talking about here take. That is a take on itself. That is sure is a take. That take is sure is something. Hooey, oh my god. And they were saying I said to myself, this is a bad take. I can tell this is a bad take because hooey. But I will give the benefit of a doubt. I know how sometimes we can have a really, really bad take and it's actually not so bad. And I would be a hypocrite if I'm already not already. If I didn't do my due diligence and actually watch the video and see if it wasn't clickbait. It felt like clickbait. I'm not gonna hold you, but I took a look, and boy howdy did it piss me off. But I gave it a fair shot. It was about 40 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less, 35 minutes. It was it wasn't an hour long or so, but I watched it. And I will say some valid points that they made. It is valid that the first Black Disney princess spends the entire movie as a frog. In fact, it says a lot when the two dark-skinned characters of the whole film spends the entire time as frogs. And the one dark-skinned person that has a majority that spends sorry, I'm trying to think. A majority of time on screen is the villain. That does raise red flags. That does say a lot. I will concede there. That's a point that they made. I will also concede that it does where the Black Princess has to work hard for her dreams and the other princesses don't really. I mean, there is Cinderella, but she got her fairy godmother. And Tiana didn't really have that. I mean, Mama Odie didn't do anything to bring her back. Just say, you gotta do this to get your body back or whatever. That I will also concede. Where I won't concede is the notion that Tiana is a mammy character. Because that's a wild take to have. I'm not going to hold you. And that take, and I've seen a lot of shielding, not a whole lot, but a lot of people saying, oh, she has valid takes, so it's like, no. She had while I was watching this, she had a lot of confusing takes. I'm not gonna lie. She brought up that Tiana was based on a real person, which is true. A real chef from New Orleans. Sorry, hold on. But she pointed out that the owner didn't own the establishment until the 1940s, and that Black people had a more difficult time owning property and businesses in the 1920s, which I don't doubt that's untrue. But what is that exactly saying? Like, are you saying Tiana didn't have any challenges when she was trying to open her own restaurant? If so, then that's ultimately untrue. God damn it, you're making me defend a Disney movie. I may forgot what I was saying because of eating. I was thinking. Yeah, that's ultimately not accurate, and it's not true. What did I just fucking say? I'm so sorry. And the quartz one. I wanna. Ultimately, what she was saying. I'm trying to get back to where I was, but I keep getting distracted. I hate having ADHD. Right, the whole like not being oppressed So I like that argue. I was confused why she brought that up and why any of that was inside of the conversation. Like it was no secret she was living in Jim Crow. No secret at all. So I'm confused. Why bring that part up? Like, it was no secret that she was going to have to struggle. It was no secret that a woman of her they even said a woman of her status is going to have a tough time. So I'm as you can see, as I'm stammering like an idiot, I'm confused what that point really was. Like, are you saying, oh man, always off. Are you saying that Tiana should have more struggles? And then to counterpoint, she goes on and says that she complains that Tiana struggles throughout the entire movie. And like, okay, so are we complaining that she is trying to open a business during Jim Crow and it was very difficult for Black people during that time, which I don't doubt? Or are we complaining that she had to work the entire time? But all of that said, the main thing that she said, why Tiana was a mammy. Before I go there, let me define what a mammy is. I'm actually going to take out Google, even though it's not that reliable anymore. What the hell? I don't care. And this is from the Jim Crow Museum. Is it actually a credit museum and not like a really racist museum? Okay, hold on. Let me look somewhere else. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is just like, I don't think I should look at that one. Let's just go to Wikipedia, They have sources. Okay, that's gone. Anyways. Here's what a mammy is, mind you. A mammy is a U.S. historical stereotype depicting Black women, usually enslaved. Pause the fucking game. I can't read, and I can't be a scholarly and fucking be a gamer at the same time. I mean, I could, but I need to read. Usually enslaved who did domestic work, including nursing children. The fictionalized mammy character is often visualized as a dark-skinned woman with a motherly personality. The origin of the mammy figure stereotype is rooted in the history of slavery in the United States, as enslaved women were often tasked with domestic and child care in America in slave-owning households. The mammy character is caricature was used to create a narrative of Black women being content with keep this in mind, content within the institution of slavery among domestic servitude. The man-me stereotype associates Black women with domestic roles and has argued that alongside racial segregation and discrimination, limited job opportunities for Black American women during the Jim Crow era. So basically, think about the mammy, not mammy, not the nanny. She's Jewish and kind of bitch. Not a mammy as Hattie McDaniel's character from Gone with the Wind. That is the mammy character. She has no problems with serving what's her face. She's content with where she's at, and she doesn't have any problems with she has no problems with being a child giver or a child giver. She has no problems taking care of white ladies, is what I'm trying to get at. She's just there to do her job, not do her job. She's happy to do her job. Think of like the characters in Song of the South. They probably have a main character in there, but basically the Black slaves that were happy and content of where they were at. Especially the woman who cared for the children and did not complain once about caring for the children. Now, in this video, she stated that Tiana is sort of like a mammy because she's a waitress and works 2 jobs. And she serves with a smile. I'm not fucking joking. Oh, how I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Apparently, and I've seen arguments for not arguments about this, but arguments that we're losing the ancient text and people are now confusing what is exactly a mammy character. And boy, howdy, are they confused about what a mammy character is. Because let me eat a snack. And contemplate my life choices. Apparently, according to this person, Tiana is a mammy because she works as a waitress at 2 jobs. That's when we first meet her. She's coming home from work. But the reason she works so hard is not because she enjoys working on their people. She wants her own business. And this is what gets my head scratching. Like, it's very clear what she wants. She wants to own her own business. She wants to go into business for herself. She wants... I'm sorry, I'm laughing. She doesn't want to answer to anybody. She clearly wants to be the boss. And wants something that is hers to honor her father. But it's still something that's hers. I'm just wondering, how do you get to that conclusion? That it's very clear what this woman wants, and it's very clear she's not taking no for an answer. And it's quite clear. Nuts. It's quite clear this woman is willing to do anything and everything to get what she wants. She wants to own her own restaurant. She wants to earn it in her own way. She doesn't want to take any shortcuts. Which is fine and admirable. So where in that sort of thing does it come off as her being a mammy? Where we see times in the movie where she doesn't want to be working all the time and she does want to have fun. But she knows if she just stops, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to see how that makes her a mammy. Not with them, like, what's the problem with it? Because I understand the whole, why do white princesses just go la-di-da-di-da and Tiana has to break her back in every which turn. I get it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm struggling to understand, why does her work ethic and her goals automatically make her a mammy? Her a mammy? How else is she supposed to, like, what else do you want her to do? She's a server because she likes to. I'm having so much trouble discerning why. Reminded me of a lot of girls, and the comments on Twitter were saying as much as well, who live in the suburbs. Specifically, hey buddy, you want some snowballs? Oh, my bad. I didn't. How do I feed it? I thought I could feed it snowballs. It's following snowballs. It's following me around because I have snowballs. How do I feed it the snowballs? It clearly wants snowballs. But if I hit, I don't want to hit it. I want to hurt it. Hi, buddy. I don't understand it. Well, when I finish the town and clear off the snow, I'll fucking get more snowballs. Whatever. Well, here's my chance to get more snowballs. Anyways, come on. No, do I have to do it from around the outside? I think I do. Oh my god. This sucks. Why won't you go in the middle? Why do you have to stay there? It looks terrible. Whatever, I'll leave the door open. Now I'm ceiling. Anyways, yeah, I cannot for the life of me agree with. Oh, right. Now I remember what I was saying. Where I run into this. Where they're upset that media. There are stories about Black struggle. And how we have to work extra hard to get where we want to go. And there's this want for stories not about the struggle, just stories where we can be princesses or dragons or aliens or just regular stories where we don't have to think about the struggle, which is fair, fine, whatever. Well, what they tend to do is disvalue and what's the word? Write off Black struggle stories as nothing. And I've run into this many times in my creative career. Like, there was a time when ran into this girl who was writing a novel. And it's just like, yeah, of course we can have those stories. Go write that story. If that story intrigues you enough and you want to see that story be made, then by all means, go and make it. But that does not give you a right to disvalue and look down upon stories that deal with the struggle. Because sometimes those stories come from people who came from the struggle. So if you don't know, there we go. If you don't know how the struggle is, then what gives you the right to look down on it? If you were privileged enough to have a home where you don't have to worry about that much about money or live in an area where you didn't really think about who you are as a person, then that's great. And if you want a story, hold on. If you want a story that doesn't pay attention to race or anything like that, go ahead and write it. Nobody is stopping you. But what we're not going to do is bring down other Black media. Yeah. Just because you're tired of seeing us struggle all the time. Those are stories from I also understand there are like stories from white people that can get a little bit too much. I'm not going to deny that because I've seen it firsthand. I've talked about it many times firsthand. In fact, how do I make a ceiling lamp? Let me check Twitch. Because